aspect of the United States government. And the specific language of Section 224 of the proposed NDAA provides access and sharing, and in some cases ownership, to the Israeli military and to Israel in everything from our software development to our AI development, to the implementation of AI and machine learning into not only the military industrial complex, but in technology and surveillance and systems used in the United States, such as tracking your cell phone or et cetera. So with that technology and that capability, it's bad enough that our own government would be doing it against its citizens. But to then incorporate the Israeli government into that, to where it's basically just open access. The way I would compare this anecdotally, or excuse me, as an analogy, would be imagine if your neighbor, who you might trust, you've known for many years, you would trust your neighbor to check on your dog while you were on vacation, but would you invite your neighbor into your home and give them your Wi-Fi password and then give them the routing number and bank account and login information to all of your bank accounts, and then give them the code to your safe, and then give them your social security number and the key to your safety deposit box? Would you do all that? No. That is essentially what Section 224 is providing to Israel. We're giving them the keys to the kingdom, the codes to all the accounts, the access to everything. And that will touch every aspect of American society, from Amazon to DoorDash to banking to your electric bill to anything online or digital. It will touch everything. Well, the defense budget that has been requested in the 2026 fiscal year, this ongoing year that we're in right now, was 1.7 trillion. And the defense budget that's being asked for in the FY 2027 NDAA is 2 trillion. Or excuse me, the one this year was about 1.5 trillion. What's being asked for this year is close to 2 trillion. So when you look at how much is being asked, I think it is totally unnecessary, unacceptable, and is a betrayal to the American people, where we have, if you were to take just $5 billion, you could solve the food crisis in America. You could solve and end starvation in America. If you were to take $20 billion, you can end the housing crisis in America. You could end homelessness in America. So when we look at, we're going to spend 1.5 to $2 trillion in the defense budget, which is no longer the defense budget, it's the war budget, because we're now the Department of War, and fighting wars that are unjustified, illegal, immoral, that serve no purpose to the United States, and that give quite a bit of that through financial aid, military aid, and equipment and foreign military equipment to Israel. I think it's unnecessary. It's overinflated. I think that the United States Department of Defense should be audited, and that audit should have repercussions and reductions in the defense budget. I know for a fact that we can save billions upon billions out of the budget by simple review of what we spend it on and reducing redundancy. And then we can take a hard look on those things that cost that we don't actually need or that do not serve the purpose of the United States defense. So I think that the defense budget is greatly inflated, unnecessary, and it should be audited. I absolutely have intentions. One additional legislation that I would introduce, well, I necessarily wouldn't introduce it because there's already introduced legislation to limit or to reject APAC, or at least that they must register into the FAR as a foreign agent or representative entity. So I would definitely support and be an advocate of that legislation. But furthermore, I think that any member of the United States Congress, whether in the House of Representatives or in the Senate, no one who represents Americans in the United States Congress should receive financial support, campaign support, or money from any political action committee, not just APAC, but no political action committee, no lobbyists, no special interest groups, no mega donors, no Miriam Adelsons or mega corporations. I would pass legislation to where any member of Congress cannot receive finance or campaign support from anybody. They have a very nice big paycheck paid for by the American taxpayer for a reason. I think that no one in Congress should have any investments in any entity that is tied to the government in terms of military industrial complex, or puts them in an ability to take advantage of the American people based off decisions that they may make in legislation that would benefit them financially, personally. I would push to abolish all of that. I would push to abolish any political action committees. And I would specifically push to abolish foreign entities such as AIPAC or any other that may have influence in our government. The United States government, there should be no place for any foreign interest or entity or lobbyist or mega donors or special interest groups. The only interest of any member of Congress should be that of the American people. Well, I think, what war has taught me about love, and that we must cherish relationships, cherish those that are close to us, as I've experienced throughout this latest experience of people that I once knew that were very close to me as friends, have gone by the wayside in terms of public opinion or reputation or popularity, but those that are still by my side, who don't care about popularity or reputation or the only being by your side on the easy days, but through you through everything. That's truly what love is. Love is steadfast and loyal, but also love of country. What I learned a lot about patriotism and love for one's country isn't necessarily but by my service, but by being deployed in war in Afghanistan and Syria and others, where you see people who are willing to stand and fight for their country, for their people, for their family, against all odds, against the great and mighty American military. They're willing to stand and defend their rights and their freedoms and their families. That is love, and it's something that is it's a very powerful thing, and I think that the true meaning of love or is the ability to continue to love through the most difficult of times. Well, when I was 20 years old, I was already in the Army. I joined the Army at 17. So at 20 years old, I was already I had already been to war and leading soldiers in combat. So what I miss most about being 20, it's kind of a paradox, because I miss the times of not necessarily seeing the ugly truth, but believing in ideals and the ideals of being a part of what I was a part of, and being a citizen of the world, serving my country in the Army, and being naive to the truth. Whereas now I see the truth. It is painful to address and painful to see. But do I wish I could go back to a time to where I was naive to the truth? No, I don't. But I do have fond memories of the time of the days of my youth of not knowing the truth. But it is necessary that once one is confronted with the truth, that you must accept it and do something about it. So I see the importance of it, and I am fulfilled in what I feel is my mission now. Zionism is anti-Semitic. Zionism stands for the killing of Semitic people, and Semitic people are those of the descent and the ethno-racial characterization that speak Aramaic, Arabic, or Hebrew. And when you think of, who the majority of what Zionism is trying to eradicate or kill, Zionism is anti-Semitism in its very nature, not only against Jews, but also against Arabs and anyone else of the Aramaic lineage, or excuse me, of the Semitic lineage. And I think with France recognizing Palestine, to recognize Palestine and then take no action is more dangerous than not recognizing, because when France recognized Palestine and to other countries but not do anything, it gives the perception to the world that everything's okay. Oh, look, we recognize them. That's enough, that we've done our part. To recognize but then take no action to actually back up that recognition, like sovereignty and self-determination and not being occupied, that becomes more dangerous. And I think that France and other nations who have taken the measure and taken the step to recognize Palestine should furthermore then take the effort and take the steps to actually do something about it. Israel should no longer occupy and oppress and completely control the occupied Palestinian territories. And if nations are going to recognize Palestine, they should also take action to enforce that recognition, or it means nothing. Not only am I prepared to do so in my capacity now as a citizen, in my words and in my spoken anything that I say, I condemn Zionism. Zionism is racist. Zionism is hatred. Zionism is an idea of supremacy occupation. Zionism is no different than any other type of supremacy. It is no different than the beliefs of the Nazi Party. It is no different than other beliefs of hatred and occupation and dehumanization of others. I condemn Zionism, and as a member of Congress, I would stand for and stand for and taking actions to ensure that misinformation and disinformation is not sown to make one believe that Zionism and Judaism are synonymous, because they are not. Zionism is not Judaism, and Zionism does not represent American or does not represent global Jewry in terms of the religion. It has been co-opted, it has been manipulated. Zionism is hate, and Zionism should be condemned. Western media has covered the conflicts, quite frankly, in a very bigoted, racist, and biased way. Just if you read in some of the media sometimes, when you read about characterization of what Israel does, for example, Israel valiantly moves into southern Lebanon to protect its sovereignty. The Western media often serves to dehumanize others. And I do not think that the media has been accurately or responsibly reporting on the wars in the Middle East, to include the latest, the war in Iran. I think it's very disingenuous. Well, I'm starting from scratch in a way. I was registered and succeeded through the primary as a candidate for the Green Party. I have since decided that I will not run with any party. I am running as a complete independent, entirely as an independent candidate with no party affiliation. Not Green, not Libertarian, not Democrat, not Republican, complete independent. And in doing so, I kind of have to start over in terms of getting back onto the ballot. So I would say that it's going well in terms of my motivation to do so. I feel much more empowered as an independent. I think that party politics are a thing of the past, and that party politics have no place in our government in representing the American people. For example, if I live in North Carolina and I vote for Republican candidate X, and they're now a part of the Republican Party or in the Republican Party, and they go to Congress and then in the Republican caucus. Well, I, as a citizen of North Carolina, I didn't vote for the Republican senator in Iowa, but they get to have just as much power in how my senator may vote because of the party. I think that the United States needs to move away from party politics, or if not, there should be more than just two parties. We should have a multi-party system of 4 to 5 parties, where it's not just as one or the other, but a multitude. And why should any representative who is representing their people be chained to the decisions of either one or the other in a party? For example, look at Thomas Massie. Thomas Massie is a Republican. When he started to speak out against the genocide, against Israel, against AIPAC, he really belonged in neither party. He was pretty much an independent. So it shows me that when you break free from the chains of the party telling you what to do, organically you then become an independent. So I am running as an independent, and I am running as a pure independent. And as someone's asking in the questions, is that how do you overcome that challenge when there's AIPAC? It's virtually impossible. For example, the incumbent Republican for North Carolina District 13 has already racked up about $13 million in AIPAC money for his campaign. And here's the thing. Americans in North Carolina District 13 have voted for him and continue to vote for him. And he doesn't even live in the district. This man, Brad Knott, is the U.S. representative to North Carolina District 13, and he doesn't even live in the district. And he takes millions of dollars from AIPAC. And he has stated on numerous occasions that he is Israel first, and he continues to get elected. So is it an uphill battle? It sure is. Is it close to impossible? It sure is. But as I've always learned, fortune favors the bold, and those who dare win. So I'm going to go at it, and I'm going to fight. Do the chances of winning seem astronomical? Sure. But I'm not going to join the Republican Party. I'm not going to join the Democratic Party. I'm not going to take money from AIPAC. I'm not going to take money from political action committees of any sort, because as soon as a congressman goes into the Senate or the House, paid for by any organization or special interest group, that's who owns them. So I don't think the American people deserve to be owned by corporations in their vote on the Capitol. I think that vote should be in representation of the American people and void of special interests and money. And quite frankly, because of what the Democrats and the Republicans have both become synonymous with receiving AIPAC money is not just a Republican issue. There are more Democrats, or I should say, there are as many Democrats that take money from AIPAC as Republicans, but they take almost twice as much more. Look at some of the Democrats that take AIPAC money in the magnitude of multiple millions, some of them up in the $50 to $60 million range. So regardless of the challenge or the difficulty in running as an independent, I'm not going to run with the other, because to me, that undermines the entire process of what our Congress represents. I absolutely faced a lot of pressure. I faced ridicule. I was called a liar. I've been called a traitor. I've been called a terrorist. I've been called a fake. I've been called non-patriotic. I've been threatened. My life has been threatened. I've had my life in a way hacked. I've had my bank accounts shut down. I've had my social media shut down. I've been targeted. I've been smeared. All of those things. Yes, it's all very real in terms of the risks of speaking out, that those that want to conceal what they are doing and do not want the truth to be known will go to great lengths to silence one. And what I continue to stand by is that not one time has the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation or pro-Israeli lobbyists or AIPAC or others that have come against me, never have they stood on refuting any of what I've said in substance of the killing of civilians, of the distribution sites serving as forced displacement and baiting of food to kill civilians, the ongoing genocide or the destruction of Gaza. No one has stood up on the record, putting their name and their face on the line like I have, to refute the actual substance of the matter. They instead, from behind keyboards and pseudonyms and avatars and fake names and anonymity, attack me personally. And quite frankly, the personal attacks don't bother me. It doesn't really impact me. I am very happy with my place in life, with my position in life, with the love of my family. I really I don't need anyone's approval. So when I look at the impacts of that attacks against me, it has not in any way deterred me from what I feel is my mission. But yes, there have been many attacks, many threats, many actions taken against me and trying to silence me. My message to Palestinians in the occupied territories of Palestine, both in Gaza and the West Bank and in the diaspora of the world, is that existence is resistance. To continue the fight, to continue the resistance, to continue to represent Palestinian culture, Palestinian existence, Palestinian rights. There is a great deal of haspera or disinformation that Palestine doesn't exist and therefore Palestinians aren't real. And that is simply not true. Palestine does exist, and Palestinians have a right to exist and have a right to their land. And to resist occupation is the right thing to do. And the forces against that resistance will be great and will continue to be great, but hope is not lost. The world is starting to see the truth. More people are starting to realize the reality of what's happening. There will be change. It won't be immediate, but it's coming. And to remain steadfast and to exist is resistance. Well, I think that what we're seeing nationwide in the generation of young Americans on college campuses, that age, is that they are becoming much more aware of the insidious nature of the ties with foreign governments, not just Israel. Israel is certainly one, but not the only. And they're becoming much more aware that the United States government is selling off their future. It's getting to the point to where, a college age student right now who is soon to graduate college and go into the workforce will be very difficult to find a living earning a wage, a living wage to be earned in the current job market. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it would be very difficult. The thought of ever owning a home is becoming more and more of an impossibility. The cost of living is increasing. The cost of everything is increasing. It'll be very unlikely that if this generation, if what continues with spending, that they may or may not even have Social Security at all when they reach later age. So I think what I tell when I go to Duke University, UNC, Fayetteville State, other to college campuses around North Carolina, what I always tell them is that you are the future. Your generation will save this nation. You are the next greatest generation. Maybe not fighting the Nazis in World War II, but in reestablishing American values and putting America first and making America affordable to live in for Americans, because you will feel the brunt and the most impact. They've got houses that are paid off, houses that they bought 30 to 40 years ago for pennies on the dollar that they can now turn around and sell for millions. They're getting their Social Security. There's still, benefits for their healthcare and needs. My generation, there's some of that left, but to the generations after mine, that is being squandered. And I think that the youth college campuses around the country, but also in North Carolina, they are clearly seeing that and they are taking action. I think that we're seeing a surge in the participation and interest in voting by that generation. We've seen that in elections throughout the country, and I think that is going to continue. I think that that generation will become one of the strongest and most active political and defending generations in our country in the coming years.
I think so. That is my generation. I'm finishing college right now, and that's 100%. Everyone is talking about politics. I feel like this was not the case in high school. This was not the case. Like this is right here, right now. You know what I mean? Like, and this is, like you're saying, the future. Like
your generation will save our nation.
Yes, but my thing is, this is how I feel about it, is people are so focused on either Democrat or Republican. It's only two of one of the two, apparently. So it's one versus the other. It's like, why are we not thinking further than that? Why can we not move to maybe some third party? You know what I mean? Like,
I think we need third, fourth, and fifth parties. Yes. We need a multi-party offering, which is why until there is a viable third party, I am running completely independent because I want to break the paradigm of the two-party lie. And I think that are there other viable parties that I don't think there should be one ubiquitous party, or if there is a party, that one should be more powerful than the other. I think there should be multipolarity in our Congress, to where there are caucuses that have equal power, to where one specific party can't take over an entire vote on a law or legislation simply by party politics. Is the Green Party a viable party? Sure, I think at some point in the future, not right now. Is the Libertarian Party potentially viable? Yes. Could we have a Republican, a Democrat, a Green, and a Libertarian Party and have a four-party system? We absolutely could. We could. Yeah. We're not there yet, but I'm running as a pure independent because I think it's time that we break that paradigm, and I don't think that the Green Party or the Libertarian Party are ready to break that paradigm, because I want to break the paradigm to where no member of Congress should take any money from any political action committee, special interest group, or lobbyist.
Collectiveness, right? Like just collecting like actual like ideas and beliefs and things like that, and putting people together as humans are meant to be. You know what I mean? Like that's right. And we should be put together based on the interests of our district or of our state or of our country. Absolutely.
Not put together by the interest of a identified political party.
Right. And then it just seems like the narrative of people, it's like a little bit lazier now. Oh, Trump versus Kamala, like just one versus the other. How is that the dynamic of, the president of our country? How is that the dynamic, one versus the other? No, this is, we're human.
Where does the majority of the country fall if they don't follow Trump or Kamala Harris? Then do they not have agency?
No, it's just the rest is just, that's right. I don't know what, wilderness, like what, like.
Well, I think if we had strong independent candidates and strong alternative party options, that we would also see voting participation increase greatly as well.